He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.
Kia ora e hoa ma, welcome to In Case You Missed It. Ko tāne tōku ingoa, time to tahuna te ahi with a look at what's been happening here in Aotearoa and overseas. Well, thankfully, the Hollywood writers' strike is finally over. Loads of popular shows will be back in production after Hollywood writers protested for nearly 5 months. Board members from their union have approved a tentative agreement with a coalition of Hollywood's biggest studios, streaming services, and production companies. After the vote, they declared that the strike would be over and the writers would be free to start on scripts this week. Now that is good news. It's also been an exciting week for NASA as a 7-year journey to collect samples from an ancient asteroid named Bennu ended in success. Currently orbiting the Sun 81 million kilometers from Earth, Bennu is roughly the size of the Empire State Building and shaped like a spinning top. The first asteroid samples were fetched from deep space by the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft and parachuted into the Utah desert. The pebbles and dust inside represent the biggest haul from beyond the moon. The samples collected date back to the dawn of our solar system 4.5 billion years ago. That's crazy. Back here in Aotearoa, a fishing boat carrying thousands of litres of diesel has run aground in the Banks Peninsula near Ōtautahi. The boat is stranded in a spot which is home to blue penguins, poiho and seals.
The area is very popular with fur seals, very popular with Hector's dolphins, very popular with little blue penguins. It's one of the last homes for yellow-eyed penguins on the peninsula.
Authorities are hoping for good weather so that they can remove the fuel from the wreck. All of the crew from this vessel were rescued. More news from the moana in Te Whanganui Atara. The sea life has been making itself at home on shore. A Department of Conservation Marine Ranger says seals have been popping up here, there and everywhere lately, with sightings on a Central City beach, a train track and a seal pup was found sleeping on a homeowner's doorstep. Less cute was the leopard seal which turned up on Freiburg Beach.
We've set a little cordon round. We've got some posts and tape and some signage just to inform people to stay well away from particularly the bitey end.
Now, there's been some gnarly cold and flu viruses around this year, or you might occasionally suffer from hay fever, but I bet you'll be surprised to learn this about the humble sneeze. Take a look.
Do you know how many muscles it takes to perform a sneeze? A lot. When the inside of your nose gets a tickle, a message is sent to a special part of your brain called the sneeze center that sends a message to a big bunch of muscles that work together to create a sneeze.
We use so many muscles when we sneeze that sneezing is actually a pretty good workout. Muscles like the abdominal muscles, chest muscles, diaphragm, the muscles that control your vocal cords, plus the muscles in the back of your throat.
Don't forget eyelid muscles too. Did you know that you always reflexively close your eyes when you sneeze? And it's not true that your eyes will pop out if you sneeze with your eyes open. Phew.
And you never sneeze when you're asleep, because the nerves that cause you to sneeze are also resting.
A single sneeze can produce up to 40,000 droplets, which can travel 5 feet and up to 100 miles an hour. That's why it's important to cover your mouth when you sneeze to stop the spread of germs.
Did you know that you can actually hurt yourself by holding in a sneeze?
What?
Apparently, trying to hold in a sneeze can cause broken blood vessels in the eyes, damaged blood vessels in the brain, and ruptured eardrums.
There's also something called the achoo syndrome that affects up to 35% of the population. It means that they sneeze when they are exposed suddenly to bright light. Lots of people sneeze 2 or 3 times in a row, but the record for the longest number of sneezes in the world goes to a woman from England who sneezed continuously for 978 days.
Who knew there was so much to learn about the humble sneeze? Bless you.
Well, that's In Case You Missed It for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back same time, same place next week. Have a good weekend. Hei kona.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.